Have you ever felt that life was moving too fast, leaving you wondering where the time went and what truly matters? In a world full of distractions, it's easy to lose sight of the things that bring lasting peace and happiness. But what if the key to a fulfilled life is hidden in the small, often overlooked choices we make every day? In this video, we're diving into the powerful lessons that can transform your outlook on life, especially as you age. By the end, you'll discover practical wisdom that will not only help you maintain peace and purpose, but will also reveal the key mistakes to avoid in your later years. Stick around, because these insights could be the game changer you've been waiting for. If you haven't yet subscribed, I highly recommend doing so and activating the notification bell to ensure you never miss a video. Your support means a lot to me as we continue to grow our community and reach more people with our content. If you enjoy the topic of this video, please leave a comment with the number 1. If it's not quite your cup of tea, drop a 0 in the comments. Your feedback is crucial in helping me create content that better serves you. Let's get started. 1. Isolation and loneliness. One of the most heart-wrenching aspects of aging that often goes unnoticed is the creeping sense of isolation and loneliness that many older adults experience. As the years pass, and as life takes loved ones away or changes the rhythms of daily interaction, it becomes all too easy to feel cut off from the rest of the world. It's a quiet struggle that can linger beneath the surface, often unnoticed by others, but it profoundly shapes the emotional well-being of those living through it. Without the everyday conversations, the warmth of human presence, and the shared moments that come from living with family or friends, a person can begin to feel like a solitary figure standing on the edges of a once bustling world. This experience is poignantly captured in the words of Sarah, an elderly woman who courageously opened up about her journey through this emotional wilderness. Her story is a testament to the quiet battles fought in the hearts of so many seniors. Reflecting on her first winter alone after the loss of her husband, she said, "I'll never forget that winter. It wasn't just the cold that chilled me, it was the emptiness in the house. The silence seemed so loud, pressing in on me from every corner. I remember sitting in the living room, the TV on in the background, but not watching anything. The long, dark evenings stretched endlessly before me, and the loneliness felt almost tangible, like a heavy weight on my chest. It was the little things I missed the most, having someone to talk to while cooking dinner, sharing a laugh over the day's events, or simply knowing that another presence filled the space beside me as we watched a movie. Without my husband, the house felt so vast, so empty, and I often found myself wondering how I was going to fill those those endless days without his companionship. For a while, I let the loneliness take root. I would sit by the window, watching the world go by, feeling more like a spectator than a participant. I would hear the laughter of neighbors or see families walking together, and it only deepened that hollow feeling inside. But one day, I realized that I couldn't go on like that. I had to do something, anything, to break the cycle of isolation that was slowly swallowing me whole. So I started looking for ways to reconnect with the world around me. If you are still watching this video and find these lessons useful, please comment number 1 below to let me know that you are still watching this video with me. Sarah didn't simply wait for companionship to return to her life. She actively sought out ways to fill the emotional void left by her husband's absence. The first step was joining a local book club. At first, I was nervous, she admitted. I wasn't sure how I would fit in or if anyone would even want to talk to me. But the moment I walked into that room and saw people gathered, sharing their thoughts about the stories they had read, I felt a little spark of connection. Talking about books opened up a whole new world for me. It wasn't just about the stories themselves, but the conversations, the debates, the laughter shared with people who had become more than just fellow book lovers. They became friends. Through these new friendships, Sarah began to feel the warmth of human connection again. She found joy in discussing ideas, swapping recommendations, and even just being in the presence of others who shared a common interest. Slowly, the book club became a lifeline, a regular touch point in her week that she could look forward to, a place where she felt seen and heard. But Sarah didn't stop there. Her desire to reconnect with the community led her to volunteer at the local community center. I started helping with the after-school program, she said, her face lighting up as she recalled the experience. The children were so full of life, so curious and eager to learn. Their energy was contagious, and every time I helped with a project or listened to their stories, I felt like a part of something larger again. It was as if their enthusiasm breathed new life into me. I'd come home from those afternoons feeling uplifted, as though I had a purpose again. Volunteering didn't just give Sarah a sense of purpose, it helped her feel more deeply connected to her community. The children she worked with became more than just faces in a crowd, they became bright spots in her day, reminders of the joy that can be found in even the simplest interactions. "It's amazing how much a child's laughter can change the way you see the world," she said. "Their joy is so pure, and it reminded me that there's still so much beauty left to experience." In addition to her newfound activities, Sarah also embraced technology as a way to combat her loneliness. "I used to think that technology was for younger people," she laughed, "but I soon realized that it could be my bridge to the outside world." With the help of her children, she set up regular video calls with her family, especially her grandchildren. "I can't even begin to describe how much it means to me to see their faces, to hear about their days. It's not the same as being there in person, but it's the next best thing. Those moments of connection, even through a screen, help me feel close to them, like I'm still a part of their lives, even though we're miles apart." Sarah's story is a powerful reminder that loneliness, while deeply challenging, doesn't have to be a permanent state. Through small, intentional steps, whether it's joining a group, volunteering, or embracing new ways to stay in touch, it is possible to rebuild connections and rediscover the joy of companionship. "The biggest lesson I've learned," Sarah said with a warm smile, "is that you don't have to face loneliness alone. There are people out there, experiences waiting to be had, and all it takes is the courage to reach out and grab them." Her words echo a truth that resonates with many older adults, that even in the face of loss and solitude, the human spirit has a remarkable capacity to seek connection, heal, and find joy in new and unexpected places. Sarah's journey, from the depths of isolation to the warmth of community, is a testament to the resilience of the heart and a reminder that it's never too late to reach out and build a new life filled with companionship, purpose, and love. 2. Safety concerns. For those living by themselves, the reality of facing an emergency without immediate assistance can be daunting. This anxiety grows more pressing for older individuals dealing with health challenges. Naomi, who currently navigates the realities of living on her own, shared her personal experience, shedding light on the emotional weight such worries carry. "This was a huge worry for me," she revealed, "especially after one summer when I took a small tumble in my garden. Thankfully, I escaped without injury, but the incident was a sobering reminder of just how vulnerable I could be. It pushed me to take action." In response to that unsettling moment, Naomi made the proactive decision to invest in a medical alert system, choosing one that she could wear as a bracelet. "Knowing that I have immediate help literally at my fingertips, just a button press away, has given me an incredible sense of relief," she admitted. But Naomi didn't stop there. She crafted a simple yet effective safety net by establishing a daily check-in routine with her neighbor, who has become a cherished friend over the years. "Each morning, I send her a quick message to let her know I'm all right," Naomi explained. "And if, for some reason, she doesn't hear from me, she knows to come check on me. It's a small gesture, but it's incredibly comforting to know someone's looking out for me." In the end, Naomi's story paints a picture of resilience and resourcefulness, showing how small steps can make a big difference in securing peace of mind for those living alone. 3. Household maintenance. As we grow older, everyday tasks that once seemed effortless can gradually become burdensome. Simple household chores start to feel overwhelming, and maintaining a home can turn into a challenge that's both physically and emotionally draining. Jane, who has faced this very struggle, shared her deeply personal journey of coming to terms with this reality. "I used to take great pride in maintaining a pristine home," she reflected, "but as the years went by, I found it increasingly difficult to keep up with the demands of daily upkeep. I vividly remember one particular day when I felt completely defeated. My garden had become wildly overgrown, and the pile of dishes in the sink seemed like an insurmountable mountain. That was my breaking point. It became clear that I couldn't do it all on my own anymore." At that moment, Jane made the conscious decision to simplify her life, realizing that prioritizing her well-being was more important than holding on to past routines. She chose to downsize, moving into a smaller, cozier home that was far more manageable. "That change alone lifted a huge weight off my shoulders," she said with a sense of relief. "Suddenly, the thought of maintaining my space didn't feel so overwhelming." Jane also embraced the idea of asking for help, a difficult step for someone who had always been self-sufficient. She hired a local teenager to take care of her garden and enlisted a cleaning service to tackle the more physically demanding chores. "At first, it was tough to admit that I needed assistance," she confessed. "But the truth is, it was one of the best decisions I ever made. It allowed me to reclaim my time and energy for the things that truly bring me joy." To stay on top of things, Jane created a maintenance schedule, breaking tasks down into smaller, more manageable pieces. "Having a plan in place made all the difference," she shared. "Now I feel more in control without feeling like I'm constantly playing catch-up." Jane's story is a testament to the power of adapting and finding balance, reminding us that it's okay to ask for help and that, Sometimes, letting go of what once was can open up space for a more peaceful and fulfilling life. 4. Financial strain. When living alone, the weight of managing all financial obligations can feel overwhelming, especially for those on a fixed income. The pressure to maintain stability without the shared support of a partner can be a heavy burden to bear. Janet, who found herself in this situation after the loss of her husband, shared her insightful journey of navigating financial independence. After my husband passed away, I suddenly found myself in a position where I had to handle all of our finances on my own, Janet recalled. It was terrifying at first. I felt like I was stepping into unknown territory, and the fear of making mistakes weighed on me. But I knew that I had to take control. Determined to regain a sense of security, Janet took a methodical approach. She began by creating a detailed budget, tracking every expense meticulously. Breaking everything down and seeing where the money was going helped me feel more in control, she explained. It wasn't easy at first, but once I got the hang of it, I found areas where I could reduce costs without affecting my quality of life. Janet discovered that many local stores offered senior discounts, which helped stretch her budget further than she had posed. Additionally, she sought out community resources and financial advisors who provided invaluable guidance, helping her make smart decisions about her spending. There's a wealth of support out there for seniors, she said. You just have to be willing to look for it. If you are still watching this video and find these lessons useful, please comment number 2 below to let me know that me too are still watching this video with me. Through her exploration, Janet also tapped into government programs and utility assistance that significantly reduced her monthly bills. These programs were a lifesaver, she shared. They took some of the financial pressure off and allowed me to breathe a little easier. While budgeting might seem tedious or even intimidating to some, Janet emphasized the empowerment it brought her. Having a clear picture of my finances gave me peace of mind, she said with a smile. It wasn't just about cutting costs, it was about feeling secure and knowing that I was in control of my future. Janet's experience is a powerful reminder that while financial independence can be challenging, it is also an opportunity to embrace newfound strength and confidence. By taking proactive steps, she transformed a daunting situation into one where she not only survived but thrived. 5. Health and wellness. When living alone, maintaining both physical and mental well-being can become an uphill battle. Without the presence of others to encourage healthy habits, it's easy to fall into a routine of neglect, whether it's skipping meals or letting exercise slip away. James, who has experienced this firsthand, offers valuable insight into how he regained control of his health and found joy in the process. There were plenty of days when I simply couldn't muster the energy to cook just for myself, James admitted. And my once regular exercise routine, it became a distant memory. I didn't have anyone pushing me, and that made it easy to let things slide. But James came to realize that caring for his health wasn't just an option, it was a necessity. He made the conscious decision to join a local senior exercise class, and that simple step became a turning point. Not only did it help me stay physically active, he shared, but it also opened up a new social world for me. The camaraderie with my classmates, the mutual support and encouragement, those connections were priceless. Suddenly, staying active wasn't a chore anymore. It became something I looked forward to. Recognizing the importance of nutrition as well, James signed up for a meal delivery service specifically designed for older adults. I'll be honest, he said, it made a world of difference. I wasn't struggling to cook balanced meals anymore, and the food was delicious. It took away the stress of meal planning, and eating healthy became easy and enjoyable. But James didn't stop there. Seeking even more inspiration, he began attending cooking classes at the local community center. It brought back the fun in cooking, he said with a smile. I learned new recipes, and it became something I looked forward to rather than a lonely task. For James, the key to wellness lies in creating a routine that balances physical activity, nutritious meals, and mental stimulation. It's not just about staying fit or eating right, he explained. It's about building habits that nourish your body and mind, and finding joy in the process. That's what keeps you going. James' journey is a reminder that living alone doesn't mean living in isolation. By embracing community resources and finding motivation within, it's possible to create a lifestyle that nurtures both body and spirit, bringing fulfillment and vitality to each day. 6. Emotional well-being. Living alone can sometimes lead to feelings of isolation, where the silence of an empty house amplifies the weight of loneliness. The emotional toll can often give rise to depression or anxiety, making each day feel like an uphill battle. Mark, who has walked this path, opened up about his journey to finding peace and resilience amid the solitude. There were moments when the silence was suffocating, Mark confessed. I'd sit there feeling like the walls were closing in on me, and the quiet felt heavier than I could handle. Those were some of the darkest days I've ever faced. But eventually, I realized that I had to actively work on shifting my mindset. For Mark, the key to reclaiming his emotional well-being was to engage in activities that filled his life with joy and purpose. That's when I rediscovered my passion for painting he shared. What started as a hobby became a lifeline. Every brushstroke was like a release, a way to express emotions I couldn't put into words. It became my form of therapy, something that brought me peace and fulfillment. Beyond his artistic pursuits, Mark also turned to mindfulness and meditation as daily practices. Learning to be present, to ground myself in the moment, helped me calm the whirlwind of thoughts in my mind, he explained. It gave me a sense of control when everything else felt out of my hands. Meditation isn't just about being still, it's about finding a moment of clarity and moment. Mark also emphasized the importance of seeking professional help when needed, a step he once viewed as difficult but ultimately transformative. I used to think asking for help was a sign of weakness, he admitted. But the truth is, it's one of the strongest things you can do. Talking to a therapist gave me the tools to manage my emotions healthily and opened up a whole new perspective on life. His journey underscores the reality that living alone doesn't have to mean facing the world alone. The key, Mark said, is to cultivate things that bring light into your life. Whether it's art, meditation, or simply talking to someone who understands, it's these acts of self-care that help you navigate the emotional terrain and remind you that you're never truly alone. Mark's story is a powerful reminder that emotional well-being requires nurturing, and even in the quietest moments, we can find ways to fill our lives with meaning, connection, and hope. 7. Social stigma. For many older individuals, living alone can be clouded by societal judgment, with some people interpreting it as a sign of abandonment or even personal failure. This stigma can weigh heavily, adding an unnecessary burden to those who have chosen or find themselves in solo living situations. Agnes, who has encountered these misconceptions firsthand, offers a powerful perspective on how she transformed this narrative. Initially, I was self-conscious about living on my own, Agnes admitted. There was this nagging fear of what others might think would they see me as someone who was left behind or unable to maintain connections. It took me a while to shake off that feeling. But Agnes soon realized that living alone wasn't something to be ashamed of. In fact, it was a testament to her strength and independence. It hit me that living solo was not a sign of failure, but of resilience, she said proudly. I had built a life where I could manage on my terms, make my own decisions, and embrace the freedom that came with it. Rather than shying away from the stigma, Agnes decided to confront it head-on by sharing her journey. I started talking openly about my experience and the benefits of living alone, she explained. I've shown people that independence in later life is something to be celebrated, not pitied. My story became a tool for changing the way people perceive older individuals living alone. With that newfound sense of purpose, Agnes launched a blog where she documented her life, shared stories of her successes, and reflected on the joys of solo living. The response was overwhelming, she revealed. The positive feedback I received from readers was incredibly uplifting. People were inspired by my journey, and it helped shift the conversation around what it means to live alone in older age. For Agnes, the key was learning to own her narrative. I decided to be proud of the life I built, and that's made all the difference. It's about reclaiming your story and showing the world that living alone can be a powerful expression of independence and self-reliance. Agnes' experience serves as a reminder that the stories we tell ourselves and share with others have the power to reshape perceptions. By embracing her solo life and using her platform to uplift others, she has turned the notion of living alone into a symbol of strength, resilience, and personal empowerment. 8. Technology gap. For many older adults, keeping up with the fast-paced advancements in technology can feel like an impossible task. The complexity of new devices and platforms can lead to feelings of frustration, confusion, and even isolation. Clara, who faced this challenge, shares her inspiring story of overcoming the technology gap and the unexpected rewards that followed. I remember the day my daughter handed me a smartphone, Clara recalled with a chuckle. At first, I was completely overwhelmed. It felt like this tiny device was from a whole other world compared to my simple, familiar phone. It seemed so complicated, and I wasn't sure I'd ever get the hang of it. But Clara was determined not to be left behind. She decided to take small, manageable steps toward understanding her new gadget. I didn't try to learn everything all at once, she explained. Instead, I focused on getting comfortable with the basics. And when it came to keeping up with social media and all the changes in technology, I took an even bigger step. I signed up for a basic computer class at the local library. If you are still watching this video and find these lessons useful, please comment on number 3 below to let me know that you are still watching this video with me. That decision, Clara shared, made all the difference. The class was such a blessing. The instructor was patient and broke things down in a way that was easy to understand. It wasn't long before I started to feel more confident, and I realized that technology didn't have to be so intimidating. Clara also discovered that learning technology could be a wonderful way to bond with her grandchildren. I asked them to help me with certain things on my phone, and they loved it. They'd show me new tricks, and it became something we looked forward to doing together. It turned what could have been a source of frustration into a fun way to connect with them. Embracing technology opened up an entirely new world for Clara. I can now stay connected with friends and family through social media, which has been incredible. I love video calling and being able to see the faces of my loved ones, even when we're far apart. I've even joined virtual events and classes, which I never thought I'd do, she said, her excitement evident. Her advice to others is simple yet profound. It's never too late to learn. I know technology can seem daunting, but the benefits are so worth it. Being tech-savvy has made my life richer in ways I didn't expect. It's given me new ways to stay engaged with the world around me, and for that, I'm truly grateful. Clara's journey shows that while the technology gap may seem wide, it can be crossed with patience, curiosity, and a willingness to learn. In doing so, the digital world can become a gateway to deeper connections, ongoing learning, and a renewed sense of empowerment. 9. Transportation challenges. As we age, getting around can become more difficult, especially when driving is no longer a safe option. This loss of mobility can severely limit social interactions and access to essential services, creating feelings of isolation. Alice, who faced similar challenges, shared her journey of finding new ways to stay mobile and maintain her independence. When I decided to stop driving, it was a hard one, Alice admitted. I couldn't help but worry about how I'd get to doctor's appointments, run errands, or even visit friends. Public transportation where I live isn't very reliable, and I didn't want to burden my family by asking for rides all the time. Determined to stay independent, Alice started exploring alternative transportation options. I began by trying out a ride-sharing app, she explained. I'll admit, I was hesitant at first, but it turned out to be much easier than I expected. It's reliable, and the convenience of being able to schedule a ride whenever I need it has been a game changer. But Alice didn't stop there. She also found a local senior transportation service that offered scheduled rides to medical appointments and grocery stores. The service is wonderful, she said with gratitude. It's specifically designed for seniors, and knowing I can count on them for important trips gives me peace of mind. In addition, Alice discovered that many community centers offer free or low-cost shuttle services for seniors. These shuttles make it easy to attend events, visit local shops, and stay connected with friends in the area she shared. I never realized how many resources were available until I started looking. Thanks to these options, Alice has been able to maintain her independence and stay socially engaged, despite no longer being able to drive. It's all about being proactive and finding solutions that work for you, she said confidently. By embracing these alternatives, I've found new ways to stay active in the community and keep living the life I want. Living alone as an older adult does present its set of challenges, but it's important to remember that each hurdle is an opportunity to grow and adapt. By facing these obstacles head-on, as Alice did, you can build a fulfilling and vibrant life while staying connected to the world around you. Surrounding yourself with supportive resources, staying active, and seeking help when needed are essential steps in maintaining a rich and independent life. As we've explored the various challenges that come with living alone as we age, from maintaining health and managing finances to overcoming social stigma and transportation hurdles, we hope these stories and solutions have given you new insights. Now we want to hear from you. What have you learned so far? Is there one key takeaway that stands out to you? We'd love for you to share in the comments below one thing you've learned and will put into practice in your own life. If you liked this video, please leave your comment below. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Your engagement helps us continue to bring you content that matters. Thank you for watching.